Hello and welcome back. Let's go ahead and run through the solutions to the now you try problems for solving double absolute value equations graphically. Let's take a look at this first one. We have the absolute value of x minus 5 equals the absolute value of negative 2x plus 1. I'm going to begin by just defining f of x as the left side, the absolute value of x minus 5. And then we're going to define the right side as g of x to equal the absolute value of 2x plus 1. Let's go ahead and start by graphing f of x equals the absolute value of x minus 5. To do this, I'm going to start by taking the inside of that and say x minus 5 equals 0, where we get x equals 5. And we can also note that the slope for this should be, for the absolute value, should be plus or minus 1. So it looks like I should just have a nice one-to-one scale here at this point. So let's go ahead and just say, all right, we've got 2, 4, 6 here, and then negative 2, negative 4, and then 2, 2, and then 4 here. We'll start with that. We might need to edit that. Wondering that slope of 2 or negative 2 for g of x makes me think we might need to go a bit higher here. So let's just start with this one, and then we may need to go back. I plot that x-intercept of 5, 0. And then I've got a slope of plus or minus 1, so I'll just draw a line with a slope of 1 here, and a slope of negative 1 to create an upward-facing V shape. With the vertex at the 5, 0, the sharp point, the bottom of the V at 5, 0. Go ahead and label this y equals f of x. Let's go ahead and look at g of x now. If I set the inside, negative 2x plus 1 equal to 0, I can find the x-intercept, so I'll get negative 2x equals negative 1. Divide by negative 2 on both sides to get x equals 1/2. So I can plot the point 1/2, 0. And then we want a slope of 2. And if I do a slope of 2, I can quickly, sorry, write that down, m equals plus or minus 2. Right, with that absolute value, we can have the slope be a positive or negative coming off that x-intercept. See if I draw this slope in, the intersection of the red and blue lines is going to be off our screen, so I do want to change that scale. So we need to go back and we're going to change the scale in just the y direction here. So we'll make this now 4 and 8. See if that does us a little better. But now it's going to be a little bit trickier to draw these lines with the correct slope. So now I need to really be careful. If I go from 5, 0 for the function f of x, up 1 over 1 for a slope of 1 is going to look like it has a slope of 1/2 because of the difference in scale. The x scale goes 1 every 2 grid lines, while the y scale goes 1 every single grid line. So I'm going up 1 over 1, then up 1 over 1, and so on and so forth. And I don't think I'm going to have any intersections out to the right, so I'm not going to worry about that anymore. But then I want to have that slope of negative 1 that hits the x-intercept 5, 0. So I'll go up 1, back 1, over and over again. And I'm being really careful to hit all of these points correctly. Okay, now we'll go ahead and get that g of x graph drawn in here. This is y equals f of x. So g of x, we start at that point 1/2 comma 0. It'll go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. That looks like more than enough here. We can see our first intersection point at 2 comma 3. It's nice. We have y equals g of x here. We need to go and draw the slope in the other direction. So a slope of -2 coming down to create this open V shape. And even now, it looks like we're barely going to hit this intersection point. Oops. So we do hit it right there. Extend that red line out just a little bit farther. There we go. And so we get our second intersection point here at -4 comma 9. Cool. So we've got our intersection points, so we can say that the solution set is the set containing the numbers -4 and +2. Sweet. All right. That's it for this one. Let's go ahead and scroll on down. You can pause and rewind as you need to, but I'm going to scroll on down to this next one and work through this. I set f of x equal to the absolute value of -1/2 x plus 2. And I'm just going to graph this all the way here. Let's see, we've got -1/2 x plus 2. We set this to 0 to find the x-intercept. I'll subtract the 2 over to get -1/2 x equals -2. I will now multiply both sides by -2 in order to get the x by itself. The -2 multiplied by -1/2 x. The -2 and the -1/2 will cancel, resulting in just an x left over on the left side. And then the right side, -2 times -2 is 4. So let's see here. Let's get a scale set up. I think just a nice 1-to-1 scale is going to work here. I don't see anything weird. So what I'm looking at is the slopes of both of these. I've got a slope of ±1/2, a slope of ±1. So that's not going to get us too high up in the vertical scale. The x-intercept for this first one is just 4. So we're not having like large x values that I'm running into at this point. All right, the slope here is going to be ±1/2 coming off of the x-intercept 4 comma 0. So I'll go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, and draw my line. And then I go up 1, back 2 from the x-intercept, up 1, back 2, up 1, back 2. And I'll just keep on going across the coordinate plane that I have drawn here. And then draw my line through my points. And label this as y equals f of x. Cool. All right, let's get to the next side now. We're going to say g of x equals the absolute value of x minus 1. Here we see x minus 1 equals 0, gives us an x-intercept of 1 comma 0. And the slope is going to be ±1. So I go to the point 1, 0. Go ahead and label that. Go up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, so on and so forth. Hitting all of my intersections of the grid lines here. And then from that vertex, that x-intercept, we'll go up 1, back 1, over and over again. You can already see that second intersection point coming into play here. I'll label this y equals g of x, and now let's take a look and note the intersection points. We have an intersection at 2 comma 1, and we have an intersection at -2 comma 3. So those x values, -2 and +2, are the solutions to the equation. We write the solution set is the set containing -2 and +2, like so. And that's it. We've now worked this problem all the way through. We've got our solutions. We've written it in proper set notation. And we are done for this. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.